Hello, Mrs. Kundra for IELTS Without Effort and Ex IELTS Examiner. See, today this video is going to be very important. Those who are struck at 6 or 5.5 again, because they are not concentrating on some of the weaknesses. See, I am an Ex IELTS Examiner, a Cambridge University Examiner, a Punjab University Examiner, and having 35 years of experience. So everything is authentic. This is a real examiner coming before you with real experiences and with real advice. Nothing that is not authentic here will be told to you. So I was, when checking the candidates, you can say the papers, I found that some of the candidates, like I could say 70%, they were not able to deal with the academic task 1 properly. Because you know, the overall score includes the academic task 1. And believe me, most of the candidates think, or they have this view, that it is not going to affect much of their score. Please, you must be careful of this. In fact, I will say that part 1 requires a particular vocabulary, a particular style of answering the question. And you will get all of this in my video. You are going to get how to answer the academic task 1. What is the vocabulary that has to be, used. Then thirdly, how can the cohesion be kept? And the most important point is that how you will compare. Fifth point is how you will analyze the graph, how you will group the data, and you will try and understand the question. What is the question requiring you? And then also I will be looking at certain aspects which are very important, which should not be missed. So lot of trips and ticks, sorry for the slip. So lot of tips for this, and I hope they will be helpful to you, And of course, you must be wondering about your gift. I'll be now taking out the name of the winner of the last video. Actually, those who are new to this channel, I may tell them that I am an Ex IELTS examiner, so I always keep to my words, right? And therefore, I have given gifts which I have announced. And if you want that gift or bonus, which is going to be very useful to you, you should see my whole video, and at a point of time I may disclose what you have to do in order to have that gift. Now gift is again going to help you, like it is going to be a free speaking assessment from my side. Okay, so you can come to know what are your bands, and therefore it is going to help you. But what you have to do for that you will have to see the video, and it is going to benefit you, because after all you're going to gain something from it. So now those who are seeing this video for the first time, I may tell you, this is the second part of the academic task 1 video. This is the second part. The first I have already done. You can go and see. And this video I'm going to talk about introduction, the BPs, and how you can group the data that you will come to know. So this is the second part of the video that I have already done before. This is the second part of the writing task 1 of the academic. So let's go into it and not
So now
just waste
coming on to
time.
the
Let's go
introduction,
into it.
you will describe the kind of graph that is given. You will describe in what units. If there are years, you can mention the years. You can mention the countries. This is the type of thing that you can write in the introduction. Okay. Then, so if there is more than one graph that is given to you, like sometimes mostly there is a line graph and they give you 3-4 lines, then it is something different. But if they give you more than one graph, then you need to talk about all of them, just not one of them. Not one, but you will talk all of them. Okay, in this graph this is there, and in the second one this is there. Then naturally the introduction could be more than, like it could be 3 sentences, like that, because you have to mention both the graphs. I mean to say that. So let me just, then of course you have to rephrase the task statement. This is, I'm talking about the introduction, how you have to write. You have to rephrase the statement. Please don't copy from word to word. Don't do. Okay. And if you don't know one word, you can't find a synonym, then it's okay, you can repeat it. Heaven is not going to fall, right? But don't repeat the whole thing. Okay, that you should not do, because it is a language test. And then it should not be longer than 2 or 3 sentences, but then it also depends upon the number of graphs. So don't think that, I have written 2 sentences, I can't write more than that. It will depend upon the number of graphs, because of course even in the question they will be, it will be a bit long, because because of this the number of graphs that they are there. So now coming to the overall view in this paragraph, like the paragraph in which you have to write the overall view, you have to give the overall trends, like the general, what is going up and what is going down. Now that could be anything, like the amount of shopping being done online in America and in England is going upward or downward. You have to be careful of the vocabulary that you are using. So this is, the vocab is important here, right? And I can explain you that later in another video, but just be careful about the overall view, just the trend. Now the most important point, no data. You will not write if there is these many people or something, this, if it is in a pie chart, this much percentage, whatever it is, don't write any data. See, understand what is the overall view. At the first glance, you can use this word, at the first glance it is seen. Okay, then you can give the years, but you will not give the data. I'm repeating again, that in the years this and this, or in the time period this and this was found out. That is an overall view. Okay, then any interesting feature that you find, like you can say that, okay, that the online shopping in America and England, suppose in America it shot up, there was a dramatic increase something that is very, unique to the graph given, you can write that, but not more than that. Like you can say, like, surprisingly, in this year, like in the year this, both had the same number of people, visiting a particular site. I'm just giving you an example, right? So that you can say any interesting trend that you observe, that you can say in your this interesting feature in your overall view. Don't include any data, I'm saying again and again, and most of you do that because it is an overall view. Okay, in the body paragraphs, you will, give the important trends with the data, not without the data. Sometimes you avoid giving that there was an increase, there was a decrease, or there was a decline, there was a surge, there was a jump, whatever you want to write, and you forget to write the data. You must write that there was a upsurge in this and this, respectively. You must write the data, and don't be mechanical. First it rises, suppose in the line graph you will say that first it rose to touch this, and then it declined to come at this, and then again there was a slight or a gradual increase. You are just going mechanically. Don't do that. See, if you see the question carefully, in there they are, now you understand the question. First you should understand the question. That is why I've written here. In the question they say you have to compare. Okay, so that is important, because they are telling you to compare the data. Clear? So if you are going mechanically, oh, this rises, then falls, and then it forms a plateau. Again there is a gradual rise, and then it comes down, and there's a downside. Don't do it mechanically. You have to compare two graphs. Okay, like this, there is a rise, but here there is a fall in this, like that. So you have to compare the graphs, only then you will get a high band. And remember, I told you that even your task 1 should get a 7, only then. Of course, in task 2 you get a 7, and then it is an overall 7. So reach this magical figure even through this, and you are neglecting this, and therefore you are stuck at 6.5 or 6. I told you, it is divided by 3. So that is why you are being stuck at 6 or 6.5. Yes, most of when I was, you are not being asked your opinion. So there is, the people were much rich in US than in England because they are doing a lot of shopping. You don't have to give any opinion. In the last, I don't know who tells you that you need a conclusion. You don't need a conclusion in task 1. You don't need a conclusion. You don't need a conclusion. Please. So we don't even need your opinion. We are just saying, the examiner just wants you to compare so that we come to know when you are going to the university, you are able to do your assignments. So any information that does not appear in the chart should not be put there. Okay, now I'm going to come to some grammar, a general grammar. Then otherwise the video goes very long. Okay, so then it becomes difficult to upload also. Then the time stamp, you need to understand the time stamp that is given in the question. In the question, the time stamp is always given. So something the graph will tell whether it has happened in the past. Like now it is 2022. So if they are referring to 2020, that means they are referring to the past. You must know. This is common sense. And whether it is continued in the past, that is, they are talking from 2020 to, like, from 2010 to 2020, if they are talking in this period. that means it is something that is continuing, right? This much you should know, no? That continued in the past means what, okay? So if you do not know, then please better that you know it. It is continued in the past, then is happening in the present, that is 2022. Now, or the graph will tell you something about the future, okay? That is 23, that you know that. So there are 4 type of time periods that are being mentioned in the graph. Clear? So you will have to pay attention to the timestamp when you want to understand what tense you are going to use. I'll going to explain that. Let me see. I'll explain that. Just hold on. Okay. Now coming here. See. So anything that has happened in the past, you will naturally write in past. The book sold in 2001 or 7, I don't know, whatever I written here, of the various categories like fiction, non-fiction, comics, they may tell you of different categories. Sold in the past. Okay, this is example I am giving you of the past, the data that is given in the past. The way people are spending money on clothes between this to this. This means continued in the past. Okay, this means continued in the past, you must understand. Then when they, okay ma'am, when there is no timestamp given, then what should I do? They have not given any year. Then what you should do, you should assume it that it is in the present. So you have to assume that it is in the present. Like the example, unemployment figures amongst the women was da da da. So here they are just saying the unemployment figures among the women. They are saying that the graph represents the unemployment figures amongst the women. It could be a line, it could be a bar, that is something different. So here they are saying, that means they are referring to the present. You assume that it is present. Okay, the map illustrates the proposed changes. Proposed means future. Okay, so the line graph represents the proposed changes in the eating habits of the people, right? So that means there is a future reference here made it. One thing more I wanted to tell you, that never say graph illustrates. Illustration will be for a process or a map. Okay, so in process and map you will use this word illustrates. You will not use in other graphs. Clear? This is something. Okay, now again I have already explained you what tenses it is. Now what tense has to be used in what situation? Let me explain you. Like, see, what, understand, what happened in the past, use the past tense. The people who shopped online in America was da 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 da. Okay, anything, I'm just giving you examples. Then if it is continuing the past, I've given you the example of continuous in the past, you have to use past continuous. Then happening at the present, I've already told you, it could be simple present or present continuous tense. And then what will happen in the future, you'll use naturally the future tense. So in maps, you will use future passive sentence in the maps, that a car park will be built in 2000 28. Okay, will be built. So use the future passive in the maps. Be particular about that. Or like you can also say future simple. The park will move. The park will move from the west side of the bridge to the right side of the bridge. To the right side. Don't repeat that word bridge. To the right side. So, like that. Got that? So, now, how to start describing a graph? You can say a graph describes, shows, presents, reveals. What is it about? It is about books being sold, and it could be about people, the young people who read what kind of books and when. Be cautious what is the period being referred to and where, maybe in England or in Germany or in the European countries. They will all refer to these things. So in the graph describes, you can use or you can have this reference of what is being described, books, by whom, say by the children and the adults, in the year da da da, and in the countries America and Australia. I'm just giving you examples just to make it more clear. Then if there are two graphs, then you will not say the graph describes. They're giving you one line graph and the other they're giving you a bar graph or whatever, a pie chart. Okay, the graphs compares. Okay, the given graphs compare the given graph compares da da da. Okay, the graph compares also you can write, that is not a problem. I'm just giving you, it's an extempo, then this is the way I teach in my class. So what does it compare, that you should say about, and it's talking about which people, who are the people, sorry for the which, when, and then where. Okay, so this is all extempo. It gets sometimes tiring. Now in the question, have you seen what do they write? They write in the question, summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons wherever possible. Comparisons is important. Don't put all the information, because then it will become mechanical, as already I have told you. Summarize the information means you have to give an overall view. You have to give an overview of the graph. That means to summarize. That means you are addressing the question. And when you are saying that you are comparing the question, then the graphs, that means you are addressing the question. And then don't, as I have told, that don't write about everything, because they are already telling you the main features. This is the language of the academic task 1. Question. Understand the question. They are not asking you to write all the features, everything about the graph. They are not asking you that. They are just asking you to summarize the main features and make comparisons. And if you don't do this, then what is going to happen? You're not going to get scores, right? And if you completely miss on this overall view, which I have already stressed again and again and again, I'm saying, again you're not addressing the question. And if you go mechanically, oh, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this, then you will not be able to address the main features. So understand the question and do. See, this is conceptual, coming from you, from the examiner. So now the time to announce the, you can say, what you should write. You should write graph. You should write graph in your comments to get a free speaking assessment with me, and that also live. You should say graph in the comments. So we will be continuing with the lesson. So this was a bonus that I am giving with every video. So you will comment graph. Thank you, and let's move on. Now I am giving some vocabulary, though it is going to be very long if I start explaining it properly, even then. So how to compare? This is a vocab, just I am giving you a bird's eye view. So Dada was much more, okay, or was significantly less than, whatever, was much more than, da, twice as much as, da. Almost identical, or you can say almost identical means the data is almost the same but not the same. But if it is identical, then you can say identical, or you can say Dada is very close, you know. So this is to compare. Clear? There's a large gap between Dada and Dada. Da or dash are far apart, okay, in which England is this much and US stands at this much. So you can make a sentence. They are far apart. So this is when you are comparing. Now, when you want to describe the trends, especially, you can use these words. You know, grew or declined further. Something grew. It could be gradual, okay, grew gradually, or, and then you can, if you want to say declined, and then it declined further. Climbed means rose or rise. Plunged or dived means go abruptly down. So upward, you know, downward, you know, like that. Okay, and now the time to announce what you have to do to claim your free assessment from me, an Ex IELTS Examiner. You will write in the comments overall view 5 times. You know, 1, then again comment overall view, then again comment overall view. You will do it this 5 times in order to claim the gift. Do it 5 times, means 5 times comments, not once. Clear? See. Okay, this was experienced. This was experienced a rapid growth. Okay, dash experienced a rapid growth. Rapid growth means like this. And a downturn. Okay, became more or less popular. You can also use this if it is regarding popularity, or became widespread. Became popular, became widespread, or became more popular, became less popular. Okay, like that. So when something, you know, reaches the peak, the highest point, that is called the peak. Reached its peak. Something, anything, it could be anything, or touch the peak at, you can also write the data, and the lowest point, that is the trough. It's called the trough, you know, the lowest point. So suppose the graph is here at the lowest point, right? So it is the lowest point. Then you can say it touched the lowest point, or you can say it peaked to this much, or it bottomed. You can write like this. Okay, This is only some of the vocab, otherwise there is lot of vocab. I can make 2 videos with this vocab, and if you want, you tell me, I'll make it. Please put your comments if you are really loving this thing. I'm putting lot of effort into this. An Ex IELTS Examiner, those who cannot just uh, take my class, but I want to give it back to you now. So the group information, you must understand this. You must try to group the information. So now you will say, ma'am, what is grouping the information, right? So grouping the information, I can give you an example of a table. Suppose the table is given. You know what is the table, no? It is given like this. This is the table, right? Let me rub it, then it becomes very difficult for you. So so this is the table, right? So this is the table. So they will write something here and here. So this is the table that is being given to you, right? And then either you can analyze it by the row or by the column. So you can, by the column or by the row, you can analyze it. So then you can analyze what is the highest point and the lowest point. So in this, suppose you're doing in the column, so what is the highest here and what is the lowest here, and then you can compare. Okay, because this you can, it will help you to find the categories which are in contrast or like that. So you will be able to find out if you are starting with the rows, the columns like this, and then you can find out the contrast between these, and then you can group them, right? So make it very quite messy. I hope you have understood. So if there, say, okay, there could be similar also, na? So suppose in a row or a column there are some similar trends, this is also same, this is also same. Okay, in the row there is, this is across this, there is a similarity. Okay, across this thing, then across the rows there is a similarity. Then you can describe the similarities between all these. So the main point here is learn to group the information. If you have learned this, then your 50% of the task becomes easy, right? And you can group. After grouping, you can then describe the groups in form of categories, whatever. If there are similar trends, then group them, and you can group the different trends. This is the type of grouping that you can do. Okay, and then you can compare. Clear? Even you can compare, group according to the time period also. Yes, according to the time period. So in this time period, these are the, especially in the line, during, suppose this is the, okay, I'm just making it messy, like even in the line graphs, if there are 3 line graphs, suppose, whatever, so you can, in this period and this period, then you can describe what is happening in this period and what is happening in this period. It becomes easier for you. Okay, because then the comparison is there. See, understand, when you are having 3 lines and you are grouping them on this period and in this period, naturally you will be comparing these, and then there is in the question that you have to compare. So you are just fulfilling those, and automatically you will write the main trends. So that is why I'm saying 50% will be solved, and then again you will be explaining these, and in the another time period. So comparison becomes natural and the main trends become natural. So grouping is so very important, because you are attacking the question. You are attacking the question directly. Clear? So do that. And please, thanks for your time. I hope I have been able to solve most of your problems. And if it was helpful, please, you can save this video, share with those friends or your relatives who really need this. And please comment and comment what do you think. And I have given a particular word that is to be written in the comments so that you can get a free speaking from this. And please like the post, because your likes please matter to me a lot. It encourages me a lot, because this is coming free from an Ex IELTS examiner. And please, you can join my online class. The WhatsApp number is here. And even I offer evaluation services for the speaking and the writing modules. Thank you so much for your time and all the best. Please, if you want something to be addressed, kindly give it in the comments below. I will be too happy to make a video or answer any of your questions. I'm going to come out with another video, and if you want any video, please tell me in the comments. I will be too happy to make it. Thanks, and all the best who have their exams. God bless you.